Radhe Radhe Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Radha Vinubihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Rūpānuga Gauri Guru Varga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vinubihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. The Tirobhav Din of Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Ṭhākura Mahāśaya ki jai, and the Abhirbhav Mahamahotsav of Śrīla Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. If you feel you need it longer, take it. Dandavat Pranam. I have to admit, I'm in a little bit of a food prasadam coma at the moment. Sudevi surprised me with pumpkin pie, of all things, and then vanilla cake and a chocolate cake and eggplant parmigiano and all kinds of... And we distributed it also, so... And there is a possibility that at any time the electricity could just stop, because it has been hours now since we have been without regular power from the main lines. We've been running on the battery backup, so hopefully we will not disappoint you this evening with a full-on power blackout. As you may have noticed, Thakurji is wearing amethyst, gold and white, so they have adjusted their shringar, their decorations and outfits today. So if you hang out till the end, you will have close-up darshan. Okay, we will start with Mangalacharan. That is page 1 of this book, Śrī Gauḍīya Vedānta Vandeham Śrī Guru Śrī Yuta Padakamalam. And of course, as Sudevi said, Jiva Pavana Prabhu has already posted the bhajans. So if you ever need help with finding the bhajans, or if you don't have a songbook, just scroll to the most recent post of Jiva Pavana Prabhu within the comment section of the thread, and there you will find everything to your heart's content. He also posts the translations and beautiful commentaries of our acharyas. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavaścha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Caitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Nishakhanditanscha Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedānta Narayanitti Namine Shri Krishna Leela Kapane Sudaksham Kaudarya Madhurya Gunaishcha Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Kvanshirashan Shri Krishna Padāṁ Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasar Narayanam Tvang Satatam Prapadye Namahum Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedānta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namahum Vishnupadaya Gaurapresthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyano Keshavo Iti Namine Ati Bhaktya Charitraya Swashritanancha Paline Jiva Dukhe Sadartayo Shri Nama Premadayine Namahum Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayitaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vigyan Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadhyam Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravan Shri Murtaye Dinakarine Rupanuga Virudhapot Siddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambhara Sambodhe Padam Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupayo Rupanugambarayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestam Nirdeshtha Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhoma Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhunyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kantam Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Mandam Matergati Matsarvasvapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyam Vrindaranya Kalpadrumado Srimad Ratnagara Sinhasanastho Shri Shri Radha Śrīla Govinda Devam Preshthalibhis Semyamano Smarami Shrimandra Sarasarambhi Vamshivandandastitaha Karsham Venu Svarair Gopi Gopinatha Shri Estunaha Vrindaye Tulasi Devyai Priyaye Keshavasya cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupaswarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarnam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Budivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritashvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Harer Nam Harer Nam Eva Kevalam Kalo Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Dandava Pranama Vaishnavas. I really appreciate all of the blessings that you are giving. I need them desperately, so I will accept them, and any more that you want to give, however you want to give it, I need it, so I am grateful, extremely grateful. And when I read happy birthday, it means what Gurudev said, I should be happy now, I should be happy into the future, and all the way into perfection. And really the only way for that to happen, Yayatma Suprasidati, means that the soul should be happy, and the soul can only be happy with bhakti. So I see your happy birthday as Krishna Bhaktir Bhavatu. So thank you. Today is also the birthday of Jai Govinda Johannes Kurki from Finland, and also Shroti Maharaj, and it's also Groundhog's Day in America, February 2nd. But today is the day of Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu and Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. So it is a day of real Vaishnavas and groundhog like myself. I can only aspire for a particle of dust from their lotus feet. Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakati Sadma, Vandomi Savadhanamate, page 28 in our songbook, Gauriya Giti Gucha, by Srila Narottam Das Ṭhākura. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Vandoi Savadhano Mate Vandoi Savadhano সাবধানো মতে বন্ধু মুনি সাবধানো মতে যাহার প্রসাদে ভাব এ ভবতোরিয়া যা যাহার প্রসাদে ভাব এ ভবতোরিয়া যা কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি হয় যাহা হইতে গুরুমুখ পদ্ম বাক্য চিন্তেতে করিয়া ঐক্য গুরুমুখ পদ্ম বাক্য চিন্তেতে করিয়া আশা আর না করিহ মানে আশা আর না করিহ মানে আশা শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি ऐसे उत्तमाগতি শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি ऐसे उत्तमाগতি যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা 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 চক্ষুদান দিল যে জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু से চক্ষুদান দিল যে জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু से দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদয় প্রকাশিত দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদয় প্রকাশিত প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্য বিনাশ যতে প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্য বিনাশ যতে বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন হা হা প্রভু করো দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া হা হা প্রভু করো দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া তুয়া পদে লইলু শরণ তুয়া পদে লইলু শরণ দেবে যাস ঘুষু ত্রিভুবন দেবে যাস ঘুষু ত্রিভুবন হা হা প্রভু করো দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া হা হা প্রভু করো দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Gurupāna Guru Varga ki jai, Śrī Guru Parampara ki jai. Śrīla Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj referenced this bhajan quite a lot, especially in the section here, Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jate. That on our own strength we cannot remove the anarthas from our heart, but it is by the power of Harinam. And how does Harinam, in terms of its connection with us, work? Well, that is by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So, referring back to the first verse, Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoite. They make Krishna appear in the heart. Shri Guru, the Vaishnavas, the pure devotees, that means Guru and Shiksha Guru, they make Krishna appear in the heart. And by that, Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite, by their calling Prema Bhakti to manifest, by that, then all ignorance is destroyed. So, this bhajan by Srila Narottam Das Thakur has so much code within it. Why am I using the word code? Because all of our Guru Varga have commented on it again and again and again, and they're extracting ever fresh and ever new meanings. So here, Bandomui Savadhanamate, very, very carefully one should serve the lotus feet of Gurudev. But what does that mean? It means to follow their instructions, to adhere, to make that endeavor, to serve them, to please them, and to do what is actually really beneficial for ourselves. Like our Gurudev said, be merciful to me and become happy. Chant your Harinam. This is how Gurudev was saying we can be merciful to him by becoming happy ourselves, by following his instructions to take shelter of and serve Sri Harinam Prabhu. So, as I was singing this bhajan, because today is the day of Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, how do we understand anything about these great personalities? By those who served them. So I had close connection for only a short amount of time, but with Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj, a disciple, prominent disciple of Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj. He said that when he was with his Gurudev traveling, he went to Hyderabad. He actually said that Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj was very, very strong. Very strong, and his practice and his adherence and his conviction was such that it was very difficult for any servant to stay with him longer than a few months. And Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj told us it was difficult. But when they went to Hyderabad, that time they met our Śrīla Prabhupāda. And our Śrīla Prabhupāda ordered Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj, you stay with him and serve him. So he stayed with his Guru Maharaj and served him for years, year after year after year. And so, as I was singing this, I remembered what he said about Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. He said there were so many who were saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. He said, we're not followers of all of these different kinds of ideas. Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya. What has come from the mouth of Sri Guru, you follow that. Not even this book and that book and whatever someone is saying and manifesting. What Gurudev has told you. He said, you follow that. And he said, even if I say something different than your Gurudev, you do not follow me, you follow what he has told. And even when there seemed to be some kind of conflict, he would adjust his position to accommodate what our Gurudev gave. And I find that that is by the grace of his Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, and his Shiksha Guru Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj. And then coming to the last line, Ha ha Prabhu Korodoya. Some of this, generally we do this Chakudan Diloje Janne Janne Prabhu say, and it's kind of a good groove and it's nice and fun. But when you come to this Ha ha Prabhu Korodoya, this is not nice and fun. That Ha ha Prabhu, that call is not a laughing ha ha. That is the sound of the heart crying out in desperate need in separation. O my Master, please give me your mercy. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Dua pade loinu sharana. I am taking shelter of your lotus feet. So I don't sing that one fast. Suddenly I changed. I don't know if you've noticed. According to the mood of the bhajan. There ha ha Prabhu koro doya. Please give me your mercy. And then this last line. When we grew up, we never sang tu apare loinu sharana. It wasn't there. We always had ebe jash bhushuk tribhumana. Śrīla Bhakti Bharati Maharaj asked, what is the meaning of this? Ebe jash bhushuk tribhumana. That your fame should be spread throughout the three worlds. He said we shouldn't expect that everyone else is going to do that. That fame of Gurudev is spread throughout the three worlds by our action, individual, our own personal adherence. And when others will see, wow, look at what this disciple of that Gurudev is doing, that will bring fame and glory to that Gurudev. This is how we have seen Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupāda. We never met him personally, but we have met some of his disciples, or his grand disciples. We met Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Look what he has done. And he has offered every last drop of the credit to his Guru Maharaj. Look at what our Param Gurudev has done, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, offering every last drop of credit to his Gurudev. So by the activities, by the adherence to the teachings of their Guru Varga, those disciples have brought glory to their Gurudev and spread that glory throughout the world. Srila Bhakti Vigyam Bharati Goswami Maharaj explained that that is the meaning of Ebe Jash Gushuk Tribhuvana. It's not that, oh, someone else should spread your glories throughout the world. No, by my behavior, by my activities, by my example, by my adherence, then people will judge my Gurudev. And then I must be I must behave in such a way. I have read this from our Prabhupada, our Gurudev and other Vaishnavas, that the duty of the disciple is to act or behave in such a way that no criticism or no negative mood should come toward their Gurudev. This is the meaning of this Ebe Jash Bhushuk Tribhuvana. So each of these bhajans are not any ordinary thing. They are full of all Shastra, all Siddhanta. They are non-different from Shastra. And with one bhajan, any of our Guru Varga can open up the entire, you could say, teachings of all of our Shastras via one bhajan. So they're very, very powerful because they are written in prem with a mood of transcendental emotion by pure devotees. Then to take shelter of these bhajans is extremely, extremely powerful. So now we're going to call out for the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Page 39, Ohe Vaishnava Ṭhākura. Ohe Vaishnava Ṭhākura Doyar Saguru Edase Koruna Kori Ohe Vaishnava Ṭhākura Doyaro Saguru Edase Koruna Diya pado chaya shodho he পদ ছায়া শোধো হে আমারে তোমার চরণ ধরি তোমার চরণ ধরি ছায় বেগ তুমি ছায় দোষ শোধি জয় গুণ দেহ দাসে ও ছায় বেগ তুমি ছায় দোষ শোধি জয় গুণ দেহ দাসে ছায় সত সঙ্গ দেহ হে আমারে জয় সত সঙ্গ দেহ হে আমারে বসেছি সঙ্গের আসে বসেছি সঙ্গের আসে একাকী নাহি পাইব হরিনাম সংকীর্তনে একাকী আমার নাহি পাইব হরিনাম সংকীর্তনে তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া দেহ কৃষ্ণ নাম ধরে দেহ কৃষ্ণ নাম ধরে ও কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো তোমারো শক্তি আছে ও কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো তোমারো শক্তি আছে আমি তো কাঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি আমি তো কাঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি ধাই তো পাছে পাছে ধাই তো পাছে পাছে ওহে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর এ দাসে করুণা বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর এ দাসে করুণা ও বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর ও বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর প্রভু কৃপা করো মোরে দয়া করো 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 ও বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর কি জয়। Ṭhākura Vaishnavagana Kori E Nivedana, page 43. Ṭhākura Vaishnavagana Koriye Nivedana Ṭhākura Vaishnavagana Koriye Nivedana Moya Omo Baroya Dhama Duracha Mo Baroya Dhama Duracha Daruna Samsaro Nidhi Taheru Vaino Vidhi Daruna Samsaro Nidhi Taheru Vaino Vidhi Keshe Dhori More Oropa Keshe Dhori More Oropa Vidhi Varo Vallava Unashune Dharam Gyan Vidhi Varo Vallava Nashune Dharam Gyan Sadai Karama Ashirandhe Sadai Karama Ashirandhe Na dekhi torano lesho Jato dekhi sabo klesho Na dekhi torano lesho Jato dekhi sabo klesho Onnato kakore Tei kande Onnato kakore Tei kande Kamo krodho lobha moha Madaya bhimanasaha Kamo krodho lobha moha Madaya bhimanasaha Apono yapono Sthane tane Yapono yapono Sthane tane Vaichano yamaranam Dhire jeno andhajan Vaichano yamaranam Dhire jeno andhajan Supato vipata nahi jane Supato vipata nahi jane Aloinu sotamata vasate mojilo chittam tua paye na kuri asho tua paye ona kuri asho se देखी सुनी लागे भो नरोत्तम दासे देखी सुनी लागे भो तोराइयालो हो निजं पाशो Pasho Ṭhākura Mahāśaya Koriye Nivedanam Ṭhākura Mahāśaya Koriye Keshe dhori more Prabhupāda Keshe dhori more Prabhupāda Jaya Vaishnava Ṭhākura Jaya Vaishnava Ṭhākura Vaishnava Ṭhākura Jaya Vaishnava Vaishnava Ṭhākura Jai Vaishnava Ṭhākura Jai Vaishnava Ṭhākura Jai Vaishnava Ṭhākura Vaishnava Ṭhākura Vaishnava Ṭhākura Jai Vaishnava Ṭhākura Jai Vaishnava Ṭhākura Vaishnava Ṭhākura Vaishnava Ṭhākura ki jai. Today when I was reading from our Param Gurudev Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he was expressing extreme bereavement and separation from his own Gurudev Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, along with the person whose disappearance we are observing today, Shri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Ṭhākura Mahāśaya. And he was expressing the same bereavement for both of them, seeing this Narahari Seva-Vigraha as the embodiment of Seva, as his own shiksha. It was interesting how he put them both together in the same category. And he was speaking in that, he was literally saying this term, Keshe Dhori More Koropar, as Rudra Gupta so pertinently pulled that quote from this bhajan, take hold of the hair on my head and rescue me from this ocean. He was saying that he was mercifully pulled from the material world by his hair, by his Gurudev. And I've also heard our Śrīla Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, use these same words. He said, I'm only quoting him, I was a first-class bogus person from the land of Jarasandha, he said. But my Gurudev was so merciful, he pulled me out of there by my hair and engaged me in seva. And this is the mood of humility that real Vaishnavas have. They feel that I am in such a situation. And so if we associate with those real Vaishnavas, those pure Vaishnavas, then we can also develop this mood of humility. Srila Bhakti-Vigyam Bharati Maharaj explained that how can one develop or learn humility? He said, when you realize how great these real Vaishnavas are, how amazing and how wonderful and how great, yet how humble they are, then how can we claim any greatness next to them? So by seeing the humility of someone who is truly great, then this will automatically bring humility to us. It comes as a result of associating with those who are truly great. Because otherwise we might look at some others and think, well, I've got something above you. But we can't look at our Gurudev and think like that. We cannot look at our Param Gurudevs and think like that, or Śrīla Prabhupāda, or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda. We can only see their awesomeness, their amazingness, their greatness. And next to that, we feel small. And seeing their humility, then what foot of ego next to them do we have to stand on? Nothing. So then humility can manifest in our heart as a product of association with divine personalities, in the same way that Shraddha manifests. It's not a material belief or faith. It is paramartic, transcendental. It is descending. In the same way, real humility is not the feeling, oh, you're so great, I'm so low, until I can become better than you. The nature of real humility is that it continues to increase more and more, to the degree that one increases in their loving service to the Lord. They will feel themselves more and more lowly, more fallen, more humble. This is the nature of love, of prem, that one always feels themselves inadequate. And the more that grows, the more inadequate they will feel in their ability to serve their beloved, their master, the object of their affection. Because as love is growing, then naturally one feels, I cannot serve properly. I want to make that endeavor. So, that one line, Keshe Dhori More Koro Par. One day, hopefully, we will all be able to look at the situation as it is and understand and see clearly what our Gurudev, our Guru Varga and the Vaishnavas have done and are doing for us. Because it is the disappearance day of Shri Narahari Seva-Vigraha, we will sing Jai Anilo Prema Dhana Karuna Prachur. I believe it's page 99. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda, on his very last day in this world, he had called for Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj to sing Shri Rupa Manjari Pada for him. And he gave a beautiful instruction for all of the devotees, but one of the instructions was a glorification of this Narahari Seva-Vigraha. Seva-Vigraha means the embodiment of service, whom he had given all responsibility to for looking after the mutts, all of the temples, Śrī Caitanya Maṭha and all others. And that Narahari Seva-Vigraha was able to, and did, completely take all responsibilities unto himself for the service of his Gurudev. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupāda ordered all of the devotees, all of the Vaishnavas, that you should be like him, you should serve like him, without anything to take for yourself, but serving with your whole heart, your mind, your body, soul, and everything. And he was giving that person, Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha, that glory. This was on his last day in this world. So, Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha is no ordinary person. Very, very near and dear to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda and all of those senior Vaishnavas. He was like the mother of all of them. He was nurturing and looking after everyone, completely selflessly. Yes. I'll tell about that afterward. our Śrīla Gurudev would also speak about him with so much affection and admiration. Choking on something. Je anilo prema dhano karuna prachur je anilo prema dhano karuna prachur Yela Narahari Prabhu hai, 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 Prabhu hai. Shri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Ṭhākura Mahāśaya ki jai. Now we will call out for the mercy of Shri Nityananda Prabhu. Oh, sorry, Rupa Goswami. Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shuniyachi sadhu mukhe Bole Sarvajan, page 51 in our songbook, by Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Shuniyachi sadhu mukhe bole sarvo jana Shri Rupa kripayo mile jugalo chara Shuniyachi sadhu Bole sarva jana Shri Rupa kripayo mile jugalo chara Aha Prabhu sanatana gora parivar Prabhupada ki jai, Śrī Sanatana Goswami Pada ki jai, Śrī Sat Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Now we will call out for the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Without his mercy, one cannot attain the mercy or shelter of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why we're going in this progression. Guru first, then Vaishnavas or Shiksha Gurus, then, of course, Rupa Goswami and Arshad Goswami, Nityananda Prabhu, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Radha and Krishna, or Krishna and Radhika. Just like how Satyavrat Muni is now taking shelter of praying to Krishna to attain his desire to serve Krishna like Mother Yashoda or like Srimati Radhika. So he's asking Krishna to help him, like as we would say at Shyamakund, that prayer, if Krishna were ever to stand in front of you and ask you, what can I give you? What would you like? What should that prayer be? And I'm looking for the answers in the comment section of the thread. You will get a piece of Sudevi's pumpkin pie. Homemade from scratch. No canned goods in there. Was there?
No.
No sweetened condensed milk?
Oh, there was sweetened condensed milk.
What is that prayer one should pray to Krishna? If he ever stands in front of you and you are aspiring to be a Rupanuga, a true Rupanuga. Okay. Maybe there's a delay because it's not popping up.
Yeah, there's a delay. Like, a good delay.
Yes. Do you know the Sanskrit? Starts with Shyama Sundar. But yes, Janardhan, yes, Anjali, very good. So I'm going to say the verse. Shyama Sundar Shikanda Shekara Smeraha samurali manohara Radhika rasikamam kripanidhe Swapriya charana kinkarim kuru.
David, you got it.
Radhe Radhe. Very good. All of you. I guess you all want pumpkin pie. So Devi, you're going to be busy. I have to peel it. It's really tough. And then she does the rest.
Do it. You're all welcome for birthday.
If you can make it to Vrindavan,
Chocolate cake, whatever it is. Samosas, let's do it.
we will do it. Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Page 61, Nitai Gunamaniyamar, in the tune of Srila Govinda Goswami Maharaj, remembering his immense fascination and excitement upon glorifying Sri Nityananda Prabhu. He would literally, his throne would rock, and he would be bouncing off of his asana, screaming and calling out the name of Nityananda Prabhu. And the devotees in the crowd would just go wild. It was amazing. If you see the video, it will literally knock you off your seat too. So much focus on taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Excuse me, I have to restart that. I was looking down at the book and a comment came up and it said, "Oh my fish." I think she meant Krishna, but you know how autocorrect is, so focus. This is very serious. We're calling out to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, but he's also quite spontaneous, isn't he? You know Sri Nityananda Prabhu? When he saw Mahaprabhu had a single danda, eka danda, Nityananda Prabhu didn't like it because that means ekavad, one or oneness. Nityananda Prabhu didn't like it. And so what he did was took the danda of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, broke it into 3 pieces and threw it in the river. That is Avadut Nityananda Prabhu. But all of our acharyas have ascribed a special meaning to it. There's a speciality in that number of 3. Tridandi Sannyasi, 3 dandas. What does that mean? Well, it means Krishna and Shakti and the relationship between. So that means also us, all jivas, and that relationship of love and affection. That it's not all one. There is eternal, transcendental individuality, and there's a relationship there. And Nityananda Prabhu took that, boom, boom, threw it in the river. Amazing, isn't he? But at the same time, there's such deep meaning to everything he did. So, only those who can understand, as we have heard at the end of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, was it Advaita Acharya and Mahaprabhu. There was some conversation that was going on, and only they understood. And a couple of of course, our Guru Varga have understood. But from one madman to another madman, they're saying. Only a madman can understand a madman. He's someone who has a particular kind of mindset that the rest of the world wouldn't understand, but another person like them would understand. So only that person who's mad in prema can actually understand another who is mad in prema. Like that gopi, whom Krishna clicked with his flute. She lost her heart, she lost her mind, she lost her composure. She was completely out of sense. And when she went to lower the pot into the well to collect water, instead of tying the rope around the pot, she began tying the rope around the baby. And all the other gopis were going, whoa, 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 wait a second, what are you doing? Are you mad? And then those who had already experienced that condition, they realized, oh, yes, she is. But some were saying, have you been possessed by a ghost? Any bhoot? And the other gopi said, no, it is not the effect of any bhoot. It is Nanda Kaput, means the son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna. That is his effect. So those who were transcendentally mad understood the madness of this gopi. So Nityananda Prabhu also has a certain kind of transcendental madness. So does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so do all of our Guru Varga, and they understand each other. And one day, by their mercy, we pray, Prema Mugdha Hoye Pagalini Pray Gaibo Radhara Yasha. At that time, may I be completely saturated with divine love, and I will call out and sing like a mad woman. Pagalini Pray. So, Nit Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Ṭhākura Mahāśaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda O Shri Advaita Ṭhākura Mahāśaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvāsadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvāsadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Nittai Gunamani Nittai Gunamani Nittai Gunamani Nittai Brahmaro durlabha prema samakare jache. Brahmaro durlabha prema samakare jache. Abadha karuna sindhu Katiya Abadha karuna sindhu Katiya Hare Hare Bhule prema Tomi yaro Hare Hare Bhule prema Ami yaro Lochan bole moranita Jivana bhajino Lochan bole moranita Jivana Janiya shuniya se Atmogati hoilo Janiya shuniya se Atmogati hoilo Nitai gunamani Mani Nitai gunamani ama Nitai gunamani Aniya mero vanya Dashailo yogani Aniya mero vanya Dashailo Jaya Nityananda Rama Nityananda Rama Nityananda Rama Jaya Nityananda Rama Jaya Nityananda Rama Nityananda Rama Nityananda Rama Jaya Nityananda Nitai he Nitai he Nitai he Nitai he Nitai he Nitai he Patik Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki Sake Kalaya Gauramudaram. Page, it's in the Sanskrit bhajan, so it's going to be 200 and... Page 340, sorry. Shri Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Sakhe Kalaya Gauramudaram. Sakhe Kalaya Gauramudaram. Bhajahure Mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare, page 137. It's the birthday bhajan. Śrīla Prabhupāda said, this bhajan, I'm not exactly saying what he said, but in essence, this bhajan encapsulates the mission of the human form of life. He didn't use the word encapsulates, but I think he used the word mission. Bhajahu re mano Shri Nandanandano Abhaya Charanarvindari 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 Durlabhamanago Janama Satasangi Durlabhamanago Janama Satasangi Tara hoye bhava sindhure Tara hoye bhava sindhure Bhajahu re mano Shri Nandanandano Abhaya Charanarvindari Bhajahu re mano Shri Nandanandano Abhaya Charanarvindari Sitoyatoko Bhaktavarishano Edino Jamini Jamile Sitoyatoko Bhaktavarishano Edino Jamini Jamile Viphalle sevino Kripano durajano Viphalle sevino Kripano durajano Chapala sukhala molagire Chapala sukhala molagire Bhajahu re mano Shri Nandanandano Abhaya Charanarvindari Bhajahu re mano Shri Nandanandano Abhaya Charanarvindari Vedanta yovana putra parijana Nitya kiyache paroti dire Vedanta yovana putra parijana Nitya kiyache paroti dire Kamala dalla jala jivana talla Kamala dalla jala jivana kalamala Bhajahu hari pada nitire Bhajahu hari pada nitire Bhajahu re mano Shri Nandanandano Abhaya Charanarvindari Bhajahu re mano Shri Nandanandano Abhaya Charanarvindari Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevano Dasyare Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevano Dasyare Pujana Sakhi Jana Atmani Vedana Pujana Sakhi Jana Atmani Vedana Govinda Dasaya Bhila Govinda dasaya bhilashaye bhajahu devan Shri Nandanandana abhaya charnaro vindare bhajahu devan Shri Nandanandana abhaya charnaro Radhika Charanarenu Bhushana Koryatanu Anayase Pabe Giridhari by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. It's page 112 in our songbook. It's interesting to note that these greatest of personalities, namely Sri Narottam Das Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, those who are writing these bhajans, who are true Rupa Anugas in every sense, their mood is one who is averse to hearing of the love-filled discussions of Radhika's love-laden pastimes with Ghanasham, with Krishna. Those who are averse to that, they will never attain perfection. Let me not even hear the name of such a person. If we are praying for their mercy, then we should also be open to following their instructions. If they don't want to hear our name, then we're in big trouble. Because the only way by which we can actually progress is to take shelter of the pure devotees, the Vaishnavas. So, those who are opposed to saying the name of Srimati Radhika, in essence are also opposed to saying Hare within the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Our goal, our aspiration, our everything is to serve Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. More abhilash, my only desire, Vilas Kunje Diovas, is to reside within the Vilas Kunjas of Vrindavan, Nayana Hiribo Sada, so that I may always be able to behold Yugala Ruparashi, the beautiful forms of Shri Radha and Krishna. And then, Seva Adhikara Diye, please give me your mercy, give me the qualification for service to Radha and Krishna. Were you able to find it? There you go. Radhika Chorana Renu Bhushana Koriyatan Radhika Chorana Renu Bhushana Koriyatan Onayase Pave Giridhari Onayase Pave Giridhari Radhika Charanashro Je Kore Seva-Vigraha Radhika Charanashro Je Kore Seva-Vigraha Tare Muri Jao Bodhidhari Tare Muri Jao Krishna Nama Gane Bhai Radhika Charono Pare Krishna Nama Gane Bhai Radhika Charono Pare Radha Nama Gane Krishna Chandra Radha Nama Gane Krishna Chandra Sankepe Kahinu Katha Guchhao Manero Vyatha Sankepe Kahinu Katha Guchhao Manero Vyatha Dukhamoi Anya Katha Dvandva Dukhamoi Anya Katha Dvandva O Dukhamoi Anya Katha Dvandva Dukhamoi Anya Katha Dvandva Jaya Radhe Radhe Vrishabhanandini Radhe Radhe Nandani Shrimati Radharani ki jai. Many years ago, when we were at Govardhan, I was leading Radhe Jai Jai Madhavadaite, and I came, Gurudev said, wind it up. So I sang Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. And Gurudev looked at me and he said, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna. And so then I sang both. He didn't want me to end just on singing her name alone, because anyone who only sings Radha's name alone is missing half the point. Anyone who only sings the name of Krishna alone is missing half the point. Kevala Madhava Pujaye so Agyani. Those who worship Madhava alone, their puja or their worship is ignorant, because they don't understand that really you can never separate the potency from the potent, or the potent from the potency. There's no meaning to one without the other. So always Jai Jai Radha Krishna Jugala Mila, together. And since today we will be endeavoring to glorify Vaishnavas, and also reflecting on the rare and valuable human form of life, if there's time afterward, then we will do Damodarashtakam. But if not, then we will keep it at this. So now we will take shelter of and pray to Shri Harinam Prabhu. They're not always physically together, but they're always together by heart. Even when Srimati Radhika is in Man, she cannot stop thinking of Krishna for one moment, because it's not within her nature. That's what we were discussing yesterday. The gopis are even saying that if you see him, if you hear his name, it will ruin everything, it will destroy everything. But they're still talking about him, whether in the positive or the negative. But because their mood is prem, there's no real negativity. But they're speaking these words. So sometimes it appears that there's negative, but there's so many innuendos involved. And they're speaking positive, and it can have a negative connotation. But anyhow, they are fully absorbed constantly in Krishna. And in transcendental Vrindavan, we understand Shriya Kantaha Kantaha Paramapurusha Kalpataravo Dhruma Bhumischintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Kathaganam Natyam Gamanamapi Vamshi Priyasati. I'm trying to think, what is it? Oh, sorry, maybe I was thinking Chintamani Prakarasadmasu Kalpavriksha. Every particle of dust fulfills every desire. Every tree is a Kalpavriksha tree, it fulfills every desire. Every cow is Kamadenu or Surabhi, they fulfill every desire. Every single person. Bancha kalpataru yascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitaram pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Even the Vaishnavas are like this. Kalpataru, they can fulfill any desire of anyone. But in that realm, there's only one desire, and that is to serve and please Krishna. So everything is assisting everyone in serving. Means there's support from all around for everyone to serve Krishna, and all others are assisting everyone else in serving Krishna. So with that kind of facility, meaning everything is assisting in service to Krishna, there's no way that Krishna is also not present. So whether one is feeling separation or one is meeting, still there's meeting going on internally, because Viraha, which means separation, also has another connotation, which means Vaishishya or special, and Raha, meeting. So within that deep separation, there's a special kind of meeting, very acute, deep-hearted meeting. So yes, always together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev. Jai Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev. Jai Prabhupad, 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 Prabhupad. Jai Prabhupad, 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 Prabhupad. Shri Caitanya Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Gurupānu Gauri Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Ṭhākura Mahāśaya ki jai, Kadiya Tiro Bhav Maha Mahotsava ki jai, Shri Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Tadiya Abir Bhav Maha Mahotsava ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimiraandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namaham Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayanitti Namine Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Samiti Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate giring yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, after my Dandava Pranam thousands of times, in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashto Tarashata Shri Srimad Śrīla Bhakti Vedānta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. In the same thousands of Dandava Pranam, in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashto Tarashata Shri Srimad Śrīla Bhakti Vedānta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda, and to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas. Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Shyam.
Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Shyam. So, today we are observing the anniversary of the disappearance of Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Ṭhākura Mahāśaya, very intimate and dear and powerful servant, disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And also today is the anniversary of the appearance of Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. Also, he has received Harinam, initiation from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and used his life in the service of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and in sharing and spreading the teachings of Śrī Caitanya Maṭha throughout the world. Vaishnavas, real Vaishnavas, are not ordinary mortal beings like ourselves. I don't know about you, but I'm looking at this one. They descend out of sweet mercy. They are the same as Guru, but they take the function of Shiksha. How does Guru descend? Out of the mercy and compassion of Krishna. That mercy and compassion condenses and takes a form as Shri Guru. Saṅsāra dāvāna lalidhaloka taranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guru Shri Charanarvindam. The same principle that applies for Shri Guru applies also for Diksha and Shiksha. Because there is no difference between the two, according to Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. That the same Chaitya Guru, Guru in the heart, or Paramatma, manifests externally to the senses, means the eyes, and the hands, and the ears, externally to the external senses of the jiva, because we cannot detect the presence internally due to our condition, bound condition, maya condition. Jive shakshat nihitate Guru Chaitya Rupe. Because we cannot directly perceive Guru within the heart, then Guru manifests externally to the senses of the jiva in the form of Diksha and Shiksha Gurus. Diksha Guru is said to be the Rup, or the form of Krishna. And Shiksha Guru is said to be the Svarup, or you can say the qualities. Sva actually means own, and Rup means form. So his own form. That might be considered something like Bapu and Bani, but actually the person is also there, who is assisting me to progress and to go deeply into the teachings of my Diksha Guru. So there are also plenty Shiksha Gurus present within this world. One devotee just wrote me today asking where it can be found. Our Śrīla Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Narahari Goswami Maharaj spoke, I believe it was in a lecture in Badger, New Braj, that to think that there is no pure devotee in the world, this is an atheistic opinion. Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj said that to think that there's no Rupa Anuga available in this universe to take shelter of, he said if it was not available, that this universe would cease to exist in a moment. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj also said a very similar thing. Without the presence of the pure devotee, there would be no purpose for this material creation. So, Krishna manifests in the forms of Diksha and Shiksha Guru. It means that they are the manifestations of the mercy of Krishna. The eternal associates of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda, who have served him with their life and soul, always sharing his teachings, Gauravani Prachar, preaching the message of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and giving their life and soul day and night in the service of Sri Harinam Prabhu, in the service of the Vaishnavas. These are not any ordinary personalities. We don't see that so much these days, that kind of solid, non-stop dedication without any, frailty or teetering, meaning becoming unstable. But how powerful, how strong were those personalities? Sure, some may have had some difficulty, but so many very powerful, stalwart Vaishnavas without any blip on their record, so to speak. They are descending out of sweet mercy of the Lord for the benefit of the jivas in this world who are burning in a blazing forest fire of material existence. Bhavasagar, Saṅsāra Davanala. This is the blazing forest fire of samsara. And those jivas who require mercy, which all of us do, that's why we're here, in a sense, and that's what we are meant to do, is to receive, accept, and then run with that mercy that we have received. The jivas require that mercy. We are burning in a blazing forest fire, and we might not even realize it. We have become so numbed by our material conditioning. But from their perspective, they see our condition. Oh, millions and millions of lifetimes without any motion or movement to really turn your heart toward the service of Krishna. You're not functioning according to the nature of your soul, and you're only experiencing that broken record of birth, disease, old age, and death again and again and again and again and again. Poor unfortunate soul, let me help you. Now is your opportunity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just appeared. Nityananda Prabhu has just appeared. They have given Harinam Sankirtan. Mahaprabhu is giving blessings to Sri Rupa Goswami that you can basically establish my mood, my mission. The inner heart's desire of Mahaprabhu was able to be established by Rupa Goswami, so close to us. And our Rupanuga Guru Varga are carrying that same mood. They have descended to this world to give mercy, to give compassion, to help us from our stupor, from our stagnant, static conditioning of being trapped, bound in the fort of Maya. Durga. Durga means fort. Being trapped in this fort where we are being pummeled again and again. Śrīla Prabhupāda would say, hammered on the anvils of material energy. You know, like steel, and put it in the fire and then hammered, beat again and again and again in this material world. Experiencing that which is not really part of our eternal, internal nature. And so the Vaishnavas manifest to us, and they give us that opportunity. Wake up! Wake up! You're not meant to be here, experiencing this thing which is asat. It is temporary, and it is not really your nature. You should move toward that which is true. What is true? Advait, Gyan, Tattva, Braje, Brajendranandan. Move toward Krishna. So the Vaishnava's appearance and disappearance in this world are all considered transcendental. We can look at them like our guardian angels because they are not of this material world. They don't, even though it might appear to our eyes that they are mortal beings like ourselves, because they are completely saturated with service to Krishna. Then, sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchate. Every particle of their being is awake to loving service of Krishna. Then they cannot be considered ordinary mortal beings. Because they are fully absorbed in that service, then they are transcendental. And they can hear our prayers. The Vaishnavas can hear our prayers. Otherwise, why would we ring the bell and call Gurudev by mantra? You come. Please come and offer this bhoga to Radha and Krishna. Please come and offer these arti paraphernalias to Radha and Krishna. We call Gurudev first by mantra. That means Sri Guru and the pure Vaishnavas are not bound by this material energy like we are. They can hear the prayers of those who are sincere. Otherwise, why would all of our acharyas recommend that we call out to them for their mercy and their help? Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Praying to our Goswamis. Raghunath Das Goswami says in Srimana Shiksha, when you're walking down that open road and all of these dacoits come to attack you and plunder your wealth, lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, pride, all of these things attack you. At that time, what hope do you have on your own? So then you call out very, very loudly and boldly to the generals on this path of devotion. Swarupam Shri Rupam Sahaganam Tasyagrajamapi. Calling out to Rup Goswami, Shri Swarup Damodar Goswami, Shri Sanatan Goswami, our Guru Varga, please help us. Please be merciful to us. On my own, I have no strength. These dacoits will take everything. but you are my guardians. And Srila Gurudev said, when you're calling out to them, you say Jai. Jai means victory. Victory to who? Not to me. To them. You should be victorious. And if they are victorious, and they have conquered those enemies who were going to take over your kingdom, then you become subservient to them. You will then put them on the throne of your heart, and you will be at their feet, because they have conquered those enemies. Otherwise, you would have been finished. This is the meaning of Jai. Now I am surrendering unto you. I am taking shelter of you. By your mercy, all of these anarthas, all of these negative things can be driven far away. So we are dependent upon the mercy of Vaishnavas, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Gurus. Without them, Guru Kripa Bina Nahi Koi Sadhana Bal, Ekaki Amar Nahi Paye Bal, Harinama Sankirtane. Without the mercy of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas, how can I move forward on the path of sadhana? I won't even know what my goal is. On my own, I have no strength. I can't even chant Harinam properly without a heart full of material desires. And then you look deeply. Oh, yes, I've been chanting Harinam for so many years, and now I want to accumulate wealth. I want to enjoy more sense gratification. Oh, I want more name and fame and position and pratishtha. This is my condition. That means I am not taking shelter of Harinam, but I am chanting the holy name with a heart full of material desires. I need help from outside of myself or inside of myself if I can situate Sri Guru on the throne of my heart, if I can situate those Vaishnavas on the throne of my heart. When one develops a deep mood of intimacy and mamata, possessiveness toward the Vaishnavas, serving those Vaishnavas, hearing from them, and following their instructions, then and only then, Srila Gurudev says, can one weep for them in separation. And today I was reading from our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. What kind of weeping in separation the devotees have and feel. In his own words, quite amazingly, I was moved by reading his own words, and although I'm not able to accurately represent them, I will try to read them, because he was feeling such intense and deep separation from his own godbrother, Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha, Prabhu. So I'll show you a picture of him. Many of you have already seen this, but I will show you. This is a picture of Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu. Let's see if you can see it. Okay. And our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. I mean, this has been translated, so I can only imagine how moving and touching his original expression was in his own language. That's okay, we have a little bit of a delay. He says, O Narahari Da, Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu Ṭhākura Mahāśaya. You are known to everyone as Ṭhākura Mahāśaya. Just by uttering your beautiful, most auspicious name, we are all reminded of the constancy with which you performed your service. You personally embody Śrīla Prabhupād's beloved Śrī Caitanya Maṭha. So he's the embodiment of that temple. He's the person temple. Amazing, isn't it? And just by uttering his name, we have many bhajans we've sung that just by calling out the names of the Vaishnavas, how powerful is that effect? As long as we were in your company, we felt as if we were truly living in Śrī Caitanya Maṭha. That can mean that one can be anywhere. Mat means matata vasanti, one who is residing within the principles or the conceptions of the teachings of Sri Guru. That is matata vasanti, one who is residing in that, One can be physically in the mutt and be thinking and doing all kinds of nonsense activities. Or one can be like our Śrīla Prabhupāda, who wasn't physically in the mutt, but what was he doing? Constantly absorbed in the service of his Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda. Always residing in that sacred space and serving every day, every moment, 24 hours a day, until the very last moment of his physical presence in this world. This is really a Mattavasi. You have shown the way to ideal service through your unperturbed and supremely blissful self. And striving for that ideal has become the sole aim of Śrī Gauḍīya Vedānta Samiti. Śrī Narahari Seva-Vigraha, Prabhu, Ṭhākura Mahāśaya. I'm saying the name a lot because he said just by uttering your name, all auspiciousness comes. So, he, along with our Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, along with our very own Śrīla Bhakti Vedānta Swami Maharaj, Śrīla Prabhupāda, and many others, when they could no longer reconcile the strange happenings that were taking place after the departure of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda, when they were no longer able to reconcile, they separated, but continued to serve day and night, but they had to start their own mission. Śrīla Gurudev told me this personally in Munich, Germany, just after the last festival, the last Italian festival in 2010. He was having a conversation with us. It was my Sudevi, myself, Manohar Prabhu, and Manmohini from Narayan Ashram, Austria. Us four were there with Śrīla Gurudev. And we were having a very blissful, long chit-chat meeting with Gurudev. And then at a certain point, he just stopped and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, one thing." And then he was focusing his attention. And he said, when the institution of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda was no longer favorable, my Guru Maharaj had to leave that and start his own society. And he made so many temples everywhere. He said also Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, our Śrīla Prabhupāda, he also had to leave when he could no longer reconcile. And he had to start his own society. And he made so many temples throughout the world, in the ocean, in the mountains, here and there. And he said, even myself, at such an elderly age, when I could no longer reconcile, when it was no longer favorable, I also had to leave the institution of my Gurudev and start my own society. So the institution is one thing, but carrying that mood. And he said, and I have also made so many temples throughout the world. And then he was just staring deeply at me. So, who started Gauriya Vedānta Samiti? Our Param Gurudev Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Śrī Narahari Seva-Vigraha, our Śrīla Prabhupāda, and so many other stalwart Vaishnavas. They started this Gauriya Vedānta Samiti. So they broke away from those persons who were doing nefarious activities and changing the teachings of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda. And they have shown the example for all of us that if the teachings of our Gurudev are becoming corrupted and changed and twisted and manipulated, then if it is not able to be reconciled, if there is no willingness on the other parties to come to the pure teachings of Sri Guru, then one must step aside and do their own thing to serve their Gurudev as it is. So I just wanted to share that. Also, Śrī Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu was one of those persons, along with our Param Gurudev, who was able to rescue the samadhi of Srila Gaur-Kishoras Babaji Maharaj. And our Srila Gurudev was telling that, and our Param Gurudev also, that Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupād's heart completely melted upon receiving news of this special service, because the Ganga was cutting the banks of the Ganga, and that samadhi was being threatened, that it would be washed away to sea. So our Param Gurudev made the arrangement, but so many were helping, and intact they moved the entire Samadhi of Srila Gaurkishora's Babiji Maharaj to a safe location where it would not be washed away by the Ganga. So our Param Gurudev is saying, as long as we were in your company, we felt as if we were truly living in Śrī Caitanya Maṭha. You have shown the way to ideal service through your unperturbed and supremely blissful self. And striving for that ideal has become the sole aim of Śrī Gauḍīya Vedānta Samiti. Now our Param Gurudev, who is so qualified, so great, so intimate and near and dear to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupāda, and not only that, he's an eternal associate of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and also Vinod Manjari in Radha Krishna Lila. He's expressing his humility, his real feeling in his heart. Please see me as I try to serve your beloved Śrī Gauḍīya Patrikā and shower your kind grace upon me. And if I ever commit any offense, please reprimand me. So he's looking to this godbrother of his as his senior who can correct him, who can adjust him. Just as there is a want of exemplary personalities to reprimand me when I make mistakes in my services, there is similarly a dearth of those who will express great joy when they see my small efforts to serve and encourage me congruously. So he's saying, there's not many who will chastise me, who will correct me if I make any mistake, and there aren't many who will encourage me either. I require both. Again and again I beg you, please bestow profuse blessings upon me. Please bestow profuse blessings upon me. Today this prayer, full of anguish, is my only supplication at your lotus-like feet. So our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj was praying this prayer to both Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha and Śrīla Prabhupāda Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda together at the same time. He saw him as non-different from his own Gurudev. Means he's seeing him as his shiksha. What to speak of the benefit we can attain by calling his name and praying to him for his mercy. So our Gurudev said that no one knew when he would sleep. They would see him serving day and night, and late in the night he would be chanting. No one knew or could see when he would sleep.
Did you say Florence Nightingale?
Gurudev said something, he was like Florence Nightingale. I'm not too familiar with that, but
They called him that because he was always with a lantern checking on the young children like Shri Maharaj.
So because he would always come with a lantern and check upon, make sure that all of the young devotees were okay, that they were resting well. He was checking and make sure their mosquito net was covering them, make sure they were okay, they were comfortable, they weren't too cold or anything like that. He was making sure that everyone was okay. And even if he needed to chastise someone, he was so expert that he would do it in such a way that they would feel happiness within their heart. So he was so gentle, so motherly, you can say, so affectionate and so caring that everyone felt natural and spontaneous affection for him. Our Srila Gurudev told one example of how expert he was, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupāda put him in charge of everything so that he could go and preach. So Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu took care of everything, representing his Guru Maharaj perfectly. So Srila Gurudev said that he was with one Vaishnava. Was it him? Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu. Yes.
I believe it was.
And they were shopping for vegetables for the mutt.
And they were cheating.
And those shopwallas were doing what they were expert at doing, I guess. They were really, really trying to cheat Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu. They became threatening as well. And Gurudev, his background was a police lieutenant who was, how do you say, in his own words, he said, I never took a bribe. As you know, that is one of the most rare things that you can hear in these locations. He never took a bribe. So he was very strict and very straightforward in everything. And seeing how they were trying to cheat and take advantage of, and then becoming threatening toward this senior Vaishnava, Gurudev became quite upset because they were making Vaishnava aparad. So if you see someone making aparad to a really high-class Vaishnava, and you have the capacity to deal with it, then you should express anger and deal with it appropriately. Otherwise, don't become angry. If you cannot do it, then Gurudev said, you should leave that place, cover your ears, jump into any body of water with all of your clothes on, and pray to Krishna for forgiveness from even hearing that aparad. But anyhow, Gurudev was quite young at the time and quite energetic. And so he began to fight. I believe he grabbed a stick and hit that person who was threatening to beat Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu. And at that time, there was a big commotion. And they were basically mobbing to come around Gurudev. And Gurudev was never afraid of any mob, even into his later years. I remember seeing him with his danda. He was like 80-something years old, and he was pushing the crowds back and swinging his danda around like this. And we were like, wow, he is powerful. So, and he was fearless in any of that. It was just his nature, completely fearless. But anyhow, in front of everyone, Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu took Gurudev by the ear, twisted it, and brought him to the mutt, and put him in the room, and closed the door, and locked the door. Gurudev was younger at the time. And that mob wanted him. They wanted Gurudev. And then Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu, he appeased the mob and told them that I have taken care of him, I have punished him for his behavior and everything like that. So in essence, by showing all of them how he was treating Gurudev, he rescued and saved Gurudev because I have punished him. So what kind of affection is this? Gurudev was revealing this story. I don't know if I got it exactly correctly, but I was remembering when Gurudev would tell this story, something to that effect. And so Gurudev was just showing how affectionate, how kind, how loving and caring, and how he didn't take any offense unto himself, but he was always looking after others. So Sri Narahari Seva-Vigraha was not only the embodiment of Seva, but he was also completely the embodiment of Trinadapi Sunichena, more tolerant than a tree. Anything coming to him, he wouldn't accept it. And he was protecting others, giving others benefit. So this Narahari Seva-Vigraha, very near and dear associate of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupāda, and so many of the stalwart disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupāda, they all had deep, immense affection, mamata for him. And you can read with what our Param Gurudev is saying. It's also there in Gurudev's, in the biography of our Param Gurudev, by our Gurudev, how Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu was, and how our Param Gurudev was weeping for him in separation. So, for now, I will go to Srila Bhakti Bhaiba Puri Goswami Maharaj. Shri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu Ṭhākura Mahāśaya ki jai. Of course, the glories of the Vaishnavas are unlimited, but the capacity of Badhajivas in this material world is extremely limited. So, what is that verse in Bhagavatam? Manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya yupadritaha. I'll let you do the research and come up with the definition of that. So, Srila Bhakti Bhaiba Puri Goswami Maharaj, I only saw him a few times. The first time I saw him, I didn't know anything about him. Srila Gurudev was speaking Rai Ramananda Sambad here at Gopinath Bhavan. At the time it was just the old building and a big pandal, big tent. And Gurudev actually was earlier on, before he was sitting here, he was sitting that way facing the crowd of devotees. And at that time, Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj came with a group of disciples. And Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj is senior to our Gurudev in age and in initiation as well. And so Gurudev gave due respect, proper respect. He moved over, he offered him the seat of honor, gave him proper respect. And Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj came, sat down, spoke for 10 minutes, saying, we should be careful about hearing topics that are too high, that are beyond our qualification, and basically in those words said that, and then got up and left. And we were all a little bit confused. What just happened here? And Gurudev was laughing and smiling, and he told us what he said is true. What he said is true. Any unqualified person should not be speaking high subjects, especially to unqualified persons. And then he began to explain. Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj began to explain that the cure for the heart disease of lust is hearing the Rasa Leela of Srimad Bhagavatam, of Krishna and the gopis, from the correct source, from the proper source, from that person whose heart is free from lust, because of their absorption in prema. How should the listener be? Shraddha Anvito, with faith, with regard, with honor and respect, hearing from that kind of personality the Rasa Leela of Radha and Krishna and the gopis that is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vikriditam vrajavidubiridam cha vishnam shraddhan vito nishnayat atavarnayadya bhaktim param bhagavatim pratilabdya kama hridrogam ashvapahinotya chirena dhira. So, dhira means sober. With great honor and respect, hearing from that person who is dhira. By that, the disease of lust, known as hridrogam, that is the disease of the heart, it is lust, that can be removed. Why? Because something superior, the higher taste, is being planted in that place. So that higher taste will be awakened, meaning transcendental calm will be awakened, love for Krishna, and by that all material calm, mundane lust will gradually disappear. And Gurudev explained it like this. So that was the first time I saw him. I was like, whoa, because he was very stalwart, strong, heavy, very heavy. And so Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj left that impression. It was quite strong. But Gurudev always would have a very sweet and affectionate relationship in dealing with him whenever I would see them. Srila Gurudev had this kind of mood whenever he would meet with him. And I remember also hearing about Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. In fact, many of the devotees in Sardinia, they are his disciples. He was traveling extensively and also preaching throughout Italy. At that time, a lot of the devotees, they had taken initiation from another guru who had left the path of bhakti and become even somewhat antagonistic to bhakti. So it was required of them definitely that they should take shelter of any high-class Vaishnava, and Krishna arranged for them to meet with such a great personality. So he went there and he gave Harikatha, and they became inspired and took initiation from him. And to this day, there's so many are so still very inspired in bhakti. And he was preaching very strongly about Vaishnava Seva. One speciality of Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj was that he had a lot of affection and a lot of respect for our Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. And he was also very close to our Srila Prabhupada. In fact, I always thought it was Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj that Prabhupada was referring to in that recording. But when he asks, he said, who is here in Vrindavan? And the Puri Maharaj who was referred to, that was Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj. That Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, he was preaching throughout all of India, but especially in Orissa and the south, Rajmundri. he had made a society along with Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj, also another great stalwart disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. One of the only persons, Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj, whom Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada would have speak on rasa tattva, means the pastimes of Krishna, the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, the rasic pastimes, and he would speak with tears flowing from his eyes. So this Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj had made a society along with Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj, and they had so many temples, they were preaching, and so many devotees, people were becoming inspired to take up the process of bhakti. At some point, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj became quite ill externally, and the devotees all thought he may leave at any moment. It is said that they even dug a samadhi pit for him, thinking he's going to leave any moment, we should have preparedness. And for many years, he wasn't able to do his external preaching seva, deeply internally absorbed. We heard from his devotees that one day, suddenly, he sat up and he said, "Fill that hole, I'm going preaching." And for 10 more years, he traveled the world and preached everywhere. One devotee told us, I think it was Vilasini. Yes, because she had taken Harinam from him and Diksha from our Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. She said one day when she was there in the class, he was speaking about our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And as he was speaking about him, he was weeping and weeping and weeping, glorifying our Srila Gurudev. And she said by that he inspired me to take shiksha, and many of his disciples after his departure took shiksha from our Srila Gurudev, along with disciples of so many other gurus. So Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, even in his elderly age, he traveled everywhere for the sake of sharing the teachings of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And he has many, many beautiful stalwart preaching disciples. If you see those who go to Sardinia every year, they go in groups and they're still inspiring the Vaishnavas and traveling around the world. So Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, he was a very, very powerful and grave sadhu. I remember once all the devotees were at Seva-Kunj for parikrama, and Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj at that time wasn't really giving classes. He was just sitting in his room, always chanting. But his feet were always extended as well. And so devotees would just go into his room, one after another, and boom, offer their pranam at his feet. And I couldn't understand what was going on. There was a lot of commotion, a lot of people pushing and monkeys jumping and everything. So I thought, let me just take a moment's time to go and see this sadhu, this Vaishnava. So I ran just across from the main door of Seva-Kunj to his temple, went inside, up the stairs, and there he was, sitting there in his room on his chair with his feet extended. So I was somehow fortunate to be able to put my head on his feet and offer pranam and pray for some mercy. So it is said that he was focusing so much on sadhu seva, Vaishnava seva, but also he was focusing so much on taking shelter of and serving Sri Harinam Prabhu. Very, very intense, powerful, and strong, stalwart Vaishnava. Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. So, I wanted to speak a little bit more about the nature of and the necessity of Vaishnavas. Krishna says himself, Sadhava Hridaya Mahyam Sadhava Hridayam Tvaham, that I don't know anyone but my devotees and they do not know anyone but me. In essence, the Vaishnava is the heart of Krishna. Govinda Kohina Mama Vaishnava Paran. My devotees, they are my life and soul. So Krishna's devotees are the medium by which we can connect to the heart of Krishna. If we try to approach Krishna directly and say, I am his devotee, Krishna said, no, it doesn't work like that. But the devotee of my devotee, they are really my devotee. Taking shelter of that process, taking shelter of the devotee. Today we heard from Gurudev. Sudevi was listening to a lecture from Srila Gurudev in the morning, and he was saying that Krishna doesn't have bhakti for himself. Krishna is the enjoyer, and he's tasting everyone else's bhakti, but he doesn't have it for himself. So who can awaken bhakti in the hearts of all of those jivas whose intrinsic nature really is to love and serve Krishna? Bhakti is awakened by those who have bhakti for Krishna. So if we want bhakti ras, this is the root qualification for bhakti ras, is the intense greedy desire to have it, then where can we get that? Only from those who have it. So Krishna bhakti janmamul hoy sadhu sangha, the root cause of the awakening of Krishna bhakti in our hearts, that is the association of his pure devotees. Because they have bhakti, then they can awaken bhakti. And then, Krishna prema janme tenho punamukya anga. Even after the attainment of Krishna prema, still the most essential thing for all of us is the association of Krishna's pure devotees. How essential is that? Even Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he's decrying all of these external impositions. What kind? That I am a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. It all has to do with this material body, external. He says it to Rai Ramananda. Go on, this is external. Brahmachari switches. Maybe they can become Grihastha or Sannyasi. Vanaprastha, even in one life it's moving from one. So how is that eternal? It's not. And also Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, according to one's desires and their karma and their qualities and everything, they'll take birth in any different species of life or in any other human form that may have different inclinations. Interestingly enough, I'll just share this with you. A video popped up for me, and I saw there was a gorilla behind glass, and there was a person making fun, jumping up like this and making all sorts of faces to the gorilla. And the gorilla was like this. And the person was making a lot of faces. And the gorilla finally sat back and just started clapping. As if that gorilla was watching a gorilla in the zoo. So sometimes roles change. So those who might be taking birth in the family of brahmanas, literally, become rickshawalas because they need to make money. So it might be that one is a Brahmin in this life, and even within the same life, they're acting in the role of Vaishya or Shudra or anything else. So this is also temporary. It's not real. What is real? Naham vipro na chanarpati na api Vaishyo na Shudro. Naham varni na cha grihapati no vanashto yatirba. Kintu, but, prodyan nikila paramanand purnamritabdher gopi bhartu padakamalayor das anudasaha. Taking this mood, my only identity is that I am the servant of the servant of the servant of that person who is the beloved of the gopis. The beloved of the gopis. That Krishna who is the beloved of the gopis. This is my identity. The identity of my Atma. He's not saying direct. He's saying das, anudas. This mood. Then we can progress on the path of devotion. So Vaishnava association and shelter is essential. We cannot go on our own power. But by taking shelter of the Vaishnavas, we can move forward on the path of devotion. And now, I need to share with you some reflection, because time is short. 47 years have passed in this life so far. And reflecting and looking at my life, I see how much opportunity has been given. So much. From before I was born, my parents were constantly chanting, going to the temple. My mother heard Gayatri mantras twice because she didn't hear it right the first time. And then from the moment I was born, they were like, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, and introducing me to Rupanuga Bhakti. And from a very young age, until the age of 3.5, almost 4 years old, I was able to receive or see Śrīla Prabhupāda many times, going to the temple every day. I'm talking about the opportunities. And then always surrounded by topics of Krishna, especially in those days, devotees didn't talk nonsense, believe it or not. They would even ask each other, does that help you to remember Krishna? Nowadays, it's almost sometimes taboo. Let's talk nonsense. Oh, why are you bringing up Krishna? We want to have fun. But in those days, devotees were quite sincere. And then, of course, we met many Vaishnavas, many sincere Vaishnavas who were giving their life in service. Met Srila Govinda Maharaj, met Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. Then we met our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. We saw Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, met Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. The key to success is to seize the opportunity. And so many opportunities have come, but I look into my heart and I'm thinking, why am I not moving forward? I'm stagnant. Externally, I'm one way, and internally, I'm a different way. But I'm looking, yes, I have received this most valuable human form of life. And this human form of life gives me an opportunity. I sang that bhajan earlier, Bhaja Huremana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. And there it is saying, day and night, Sita Atapa, Bata Barishana, in the wind and in the rain, in the heat and in the cold, in all kinds of dualities of this world. What are we doing? Bipale Sevinu, Kripana Durjana, Chapala Shukala Balagire. Serving bipal, fruitlessly serving those who are kripan, miserly. What does that mean, miserly? It means they don't want or don't have any inclination to help us on the path of bhakti. And so that's not just other persons, that's also our senses. That I'm trying to satisfy my senses instead of trying to satisfy the senses of Krishna for some temporary, mundane, fleeting pleasures. Despite all of the endeavors of Krishna, like what Krishna told Gopkumar, I sent so many opportunities to you, but I don't know what happened. You just kept dodging all of them. And now I had to change my rules to somehow grab you. So we also have these kind of situation. You know, externally we're striving, I'm using we, I mean me, striving forward externally, but internally, what is going on? Oh, festering, bubbling pot of material entanglement. After so much time. And I was discussing with one devotee today, Janardhan Prabhu, that it's quite amazing that this time has come, a time for all of us to practice. in the last 1 year, about 15 to 20 devotees we know personally have left this world. And another 40 connected to those we know personally. A lot. And so there's death all around. And the greatest mystery is what? That we see it everywhere, but we don't think it's happening to us. Well, it's really, for all of us, an opportunity to practice. Not to deny it, because the reality is there. Padam padam yadvi padam natesham. There's danger at every step, whether it's from this reason or that reason. But here we have a clear opportunity to awaken ourselves to the fact that I have this time now. I don't know what I will have in the future. Prabhupada says we're not guaranteed 7 minutes or 7 seconds. So it's an opportunity to practice. Okay, Gurudev told me I should chant my Harinam. I should chant my mantras. I should make an endeavor to develop a mood of sambandha, relationship. I should make an endeavor to follow properly. I should be careful for making any aparad to Vaishnavas. And I'm looking at myself thinking, all of these personalities. Oh, I even miss Srila Bhakti-Vigyam Bharati Maharaj. Personally, receiving prasad from his hand, hearing Harikatha, speaking with him, how much kindness and affection he gave. One after another, they're coming. Boom, 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 boom. And at this moment, I'm remembering the words of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, that I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Where he really has attraction for the holy names and he's feeling unfortunate, I'm just unfortunate that I have no real attraction to that. And for what purpose? What is it going to do? What is all of the other stuff going to do for us, for me? All of the temporary, fleeting things of this world, it's only going to bind me in samsara. Śrīla Prabhupāda said that all that is required is a little bit of sincerity. Even to open a center, one sincere person, he said, is enough. One sincere person. And when I first met Srila Gurudev, I told him those words. He's like, oh, you should come in process. You should be initiated by any bona fide guru. I said, yeah, but I'm so insincere. I have no sincerity. And he said, oh, you should be strong like your wife. Like that. What will happen if we don't take shelter or seize that opportunity which is given to us? Like Devaki just wrote, this life is tottering like a drop of water on the petal of a lotus. Kamala dalajal jivana talamala. How fragile is it? It doesn't matter what it's going to be from. It's going to be one day. Either in 7 years, or 70 years, or 7 minutes, or 7 seconds, or 1 second. We don't know. And this human form of life gives us that opportunity to endeavor for perfection. And yet, we think, it's not my time yet. It's never going to happen. But this period of time gives us an opportunity to reflect. Regardless of what anyone believes about what's going on out there, we have our Guru Varga, we have our Shastras, we have the teachings of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, we have the teachings of Rupa Goswami. And every one of those is saying, don't waste time. Gramya katha na shunibe. Don't spend your mind and your energy in hearing or discussing mundane subject matters. Just today I received a letter from a senior devotee who's asking me to dive into subject matters which they have somehow scraped up from the obscure sections of the internet and asking me to share it. I can't do so. Because how do I know what's real and what's not out there? I don't know. All I know is that my Gurudev, my Guru Varga, my Gurudev and my Guru Varga have given instruction that I should make an endeavor to keep my mind, my body, my senses and everything focused on their Harikatha. So I'm looking at my situation. Externally I'm involved in this. I feel inspired, I feel like this, but at the same time, I don't feel that forward movement. And I'm leading up to something with all of this. Generally, on someone's birthday, they should give. But what do I have to give? The only thing I have to give is a plea. So I'm giving you all a plea. Please send your prayers on my behalf. Send your mercy so that I might develop a drop of real sincerity, that I will be able to not just do the external, but that my inside will begin to really desire to serve and please my Gurudev and Guru Varga in a way that I can make them proud. And that, like Param Gurudev said, I'm feeling that lacking of anyone who can correct me. Well, no, there's a lot of people that want to correct me. And there's a lot of people that also want to encourage me. But I'm looking for prayers, some kind of blessing, that maybe if anyone has any sukriti, you might be willing to share a particle to inspire me to go deeply into my service, into real attraction for Harinam, real attraction for the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. So now it's after 8. Oh, Vichitra Dasi just wrote, oh, that pumpkin pie was the best. It just popped up, so. I know many of you have sent beautiful birthday blessings to me, and I am extremely appreciative and feeling indebted to you for giving me those blessings and encouraging me. And I pray that you will continue to do so. Really, I just want that Gurudev will cast a merciful sidelong glance in my direction, and maybe my Param Gurudev, my Guru Varga, that they may bless me, that I might develop a desire, first of all, and then a greed for attaining that destination which they have endeavored to convince me is the most amazing, best destination, service to Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Śrī Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu Ṭhākura Mahāśaya ki jai, Śrīla Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Śrī Gauḍīya Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Śrī Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hey, Sudevi. You didn't throw flowers on my head.
You want to do that?
Well, I can't do it. You have to do it. yourself first.
Okay. Mangalam Bhavatu. Guru Nishta Bhavatu. Krishna Bhakti. Radha Dasyam Bhavatu. And may you be happy now. May you be happy in your next life. And may you be happy all the way into perfection. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Do you remember in Gurudev with
Yeah.
the mohawk?
When we were in Italy with Gurudev, it was Sudevi's birthday, and Sudevi went to Gurudev for blessings, and he had flowers in his hand, and he had these pink flowers.
No, I was holding them
No,
and he picked them
so
up.
she was holding them, and he was picking them out of her hand and putting them on her head, and saying all these prayers, but he actually ended up making a mohawk of pink flowers on her head. Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Shri Narahari Seva-Vigraha, Ṭhākura Mahāśaya ki jai, Bhakti Vaibhava Purika Sai Maharaj ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitaya Prabhu very much for being with us today and giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga, and also to endeavor to remember even a couple of the glories of Shri Narahari Seva-Vigraha Prabhu and Shri Bhakti Vaibhava Puri Goswami Maharaj. Also, we would like to express our indebtedness to each and every one of you for daily giving us the opportunity to serve our Gurudev by following his order, which is our life and soul. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. So, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe. Radha Vinodihari ki jai. Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai.
Hey Radhika.
Radhika Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Dandavat Pranam.